Good afternoon.
I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome you to our Billboard launching event for GuyEnergy. I am Ashika Soon, board member of GuyEnergy. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to all our distinguished guests that are here today, all the media, special invitees, and of course my GuyEnergy team. Today is a very significant day for us. It marks history as we, the young people of Guyana, take the initiative to come forward and start on our journey towards bringing Guyana to its best potential. GuyEnergy was formed with an intention of making Guyana futuristic when it comes to energy consumption, when it comes to renewable energy, and when it comes to preserving our environment to the maximum of its capacity. First of all, you may be wondering why the young people standing before you. Let me say that the elections are finished. We fought our good fight, but right now it's about us standing here and fulfilling the promises that we made to the Guyanese people, to the youth of Guyana, and most importantly, the people that follow us religiously every day. By fulfilling our promises, we talk about job creation. We talk about bringing the projects to Guyana that we spoke so passionately about, and letting them know that we have fulfilled our promises and we're on the way to getting everything done that we promised to do. what we have realized as young people is that we have lots of major companies coming into Ghana. Use ExxonMobil, for example. And we have learned that just like they use Guyana's collateral to get funded, that we could also do that as Guyanese youth and bring money by using our own collateral in Guyana to get projects done. The most important thing I'm going to speak about today is local content. For the first time in history, a group of young people, passionate young people, have come together with guidance, and we have secured $4 billion to carry out all of our projects. We have approached the government and given them all the information in relation to our projects, all our funding, the companies involved, and exactly how we're going to carry out these projects. I know a common question may come, what is it that you want from the government then? Absolutely nothing. All we need is the fair opportunity for open bidding to take place so that we can buy our own oil, we can bid on our own gas, and we can bid on projects to get them done on an equal, transparent manner. Competitive market GuyEnergy brings. The future of Guyana, I want to refrain from using the word green and the word bright. The future of Guyana is the youth standing before you. What we are going to do is make sure that every household has access to renewable energy, cheaper energy, and environmental friendly energy. With the few words I've said, we have a lineup of young people, board members of GuyEnergy today, and project managers that are also going to share with you how they feel about it and the way forward as the youth of Guyana. So let me introduce our other board member, Morgan. He's going to speak to you now and we'll continue our program.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
My name is Morgan, and I'm the board member of GuyEnergy. As a young person living here, we've all faced a challenge. Given the opportunity when we're applying to work, they're telling you you're not experienced and you have all this qualification and you're not getting it. With the energy and moving forward, we look to push a lot for young people. As you can see, everyone on the board is very young. And the projects that GuyEnergy is offering and the opportunity that is there to give to our nation, right, to develop this country in such a way that we all can be amazed by it in a few years to come. GuyEnergy promise to develop and improve the skills of young people, both locally and internationally, giving us the opportunity to work anywhere around the world. Now, myself as a young person, being on this board is a great opportunity for me to help lead and to help young people along the line of getting there. And to eradicate that thing of young people can't do this and young people can't do that. GuyEnergy has so much to offer and we will continue to offer as we go along.
Thank you.
I would now introduce Julia and our number to say something.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ramharack. I'm a board member of GuyEnergy. Like my colleagues before me, I'm a little nervous in comparison to them, but I'll use that to my advantage. One of the many things I'm proud of being part of GuyEnergy for is that we plan on offering the opportunity where young people, almost an average of 1,800 courses per year from the University of Ghana. We're hoping to offer them good paying jobs along their career path that they would have studied for so many years. Our president has talked about creating 50,000 jobs, and we intend on working along with him to do that. We look forward to working with the Guyanese public and our young people on creating more job opportunities and an equal playing field for all. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll introduce my colleague David.
for being here. And I want to thank my fellow colleagues, my board members, Ms. Washington, and everyone that's a part of GuyEnergy. I'm the project manager, Mr. Sikasad Ryan. And one of the things I want to speak on is employment. Right? As the future of Guyana changes, as we're looking into a new dimension into Guyana, and with the ever-changing world around us, jobs is very important in our country. We just shifted into a situation in Guyana, and education is very important. And our projects are going to employ, our projects are going to educate, and our projects are going to help to transition the future of Guyana in every aspect. We're planning to put out a lot of projects within Guyana through GuyEnergy. One of the projects we're actually looking into is bridges and roads. We're also LNG plants, which will bring a lot of revenue to Guyana, it will bring a lot of jobs to Guyana, and it will help to transition the educational system of Guyana. So when people do come out of Guyana University, they have opportunities to transition into a modern work field. Again, GuyEnergy is here. We have our project set up, and we are ready to work, and we're ready to change the future of Guyana. I want to thank everyone for being here and working together with everyone. Good evening, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey everyone, we heard from our young team who are very passionate about what we're embarking on. So right now I'd like to take a special opportunity to welcome Mr. Christopher Ram to the podium to give a few words. He is one of our greatest supporters. He's the mastermind behind the joiner, and he's also somebody that as a young person I can call anytime as he gives me the greatest advice I could ever ask.
Thank you very much. You see why they say you should never believe and trust politicians. Not one of those things is true. Thanks anyway. I first of all would like to congratulate your political wing in making a major first step in becoming something, and more importantly, in transforming the politics of Guyana. Let us not delude ourselves. March 2nd was a big test, and the test will continue every day as we go on. And it's people like you who will have to challenge the behemoths, the juggernauts of Guyana's politics. And it's probably a good segue into two things I like to talk about. I wouldn't spend more than 2 minutes. The question of local content has been made into some kind of mystery in Guyana. In fact, it's part of the law, the Petroleum Exploration and Production Act. It's part of the law. You have to do it when anybody applies for a license, whether it's a prospecting license or a production license. You have to say what your plans in relation to local content, both in relation to goods and services, to goods, and in relation to services, and in relation to the employment opinion. I have said time and again, if one looks at the OMI contract, I don't know how it operated, and bring young people down to the challenges to me to understand what has happened in the past, so that we just don't repeat it. OMI had one of the most, and we are talking about the late 80s, early 90s. OMI came to produce gold. Cambior, the name of the company, produced gold on the Essequibo River at a place called OMI. It had a very, very simple formula in terms of local content. It simply said, you can have so many foreigners in year one, it's reduced continually, and by 5 years, you almost had no foreigners working at the OMI woodlands, except about 2 or 3. And I know it well because we provided professional services to them. So it's no mystery, and I think people like you, the young people with the energy, need to start pushing from now. It is not in favor. And we don't need foreigners to come and tell us what local content is. That's what I find always so strange and ironic. Everything is a foreigner has to tell us what. Well, if you can't even decide on your local content, and you have to rely on foreigners, you have a problem. But it's pretty straightforward. You go on the internet, the World Bank has excellent examples of local content, whether it's in relation to companies. Now what are we finding? What are we finding? A company comes here and sets up, and it says, oh, we're a local company. No, you're not. In a place like Pakistan, you have to have 95% local ownership before you call yourself local. You are not local. We should insist that it must be a minimum of 51%. It must be controlled by Guyanese before it becomes local. We can always work out the details. We can talk about, so that's companies, you have employment, as I said. All you have to do it by way of headcount and do it by way of proportion of the payroll. Because no point you telling me that you're going to have, oh, we will only have 5% of the payroll, but it accounts for 75% of the payroll cost. So you have to look at it carefully and sensibly. It's not rocket science, as I would suggest to you. Just go on the internet and go to the World Bank website and you'll see an excellent study. Interestingly enough, one of the contributors to that study is Michael Warner, who the former government paid, I think, $100,000 or something like that to do a local content policy that really was crap. It was absolutely simple. The other thing I would seriously insist that you do not compromise on is the question of accountability and transparency. Don't trust anyone. You want everything must be a matter of public record. And whether it is, you know, you've heard, and I know the friendships that have formed as a result of political alignments and realignments. But I was talking to my wife the other day, and she said, you know, I'm tired of hearing how much the former consultants used to get. What about the existing ones? And we have got to ask this government the same questions that we asked the previous government. And we must not be afraid. We must always insist we get information. For too long, let us not forget, Janet Jagan signed the petroleum agreement in 1999, and it was never made public. Not until 2016, I believe. Then Shuman signs one in 2016 and said, oh, you only tweaked in 1999. Don't let politicians, I apologize to all the politicians here. Don't let them explain to you. You capable of understanding yourself. Insist that you want everything. When they tell you they're getting this funding, or you want to see, let Parliament be the place, like it must almost serve as our national library. Now, if you were to do that, with information, you have influence. I don't like the word power, but you do have power. With information, you can ask all the challenging and the right questions. And you ask them continually until you get the correct answers. Don't just take any kind of bluff as an answer. In that way, our wealth that lies somewhere out there will be not only for us. And I appeal to you people, don't let us get greedy. That belongs to the generations that come after us. There are two ways we could do it. We can either invest it now and so that it has dividends and benefits down the road. But don't let us take it and squander it with recurrent expenditure that has no value. The challenge is great. You guys stood up for 5 months from March this August the 2nd, in fact, you can do it again. Please don't let us down. And we didn't do a good job. Our generation did not do a good job. But I think we did a few things right. What you need to do is take the few things that we have done right and build on them, and to make Guyana the place not only you can be proud of, but your generations to come. Thank you very much.
Great speech by our guest today. Thank you very much, Mr. Ram. Yes, local content, jobs for our young people, taking up the mantle and pushing the good fight so that our people can have better paying jobs. More jobs available to the youth that are on the street and are trying to get where they need to go. Right now I'm going to introduce Dr. Torian Dorga. He is our advisor. He has been the man that has also been behind us and helping us wherever a helping hand was needed. Welcome.
Thank you. Today is a very happy day for me. For one simple reason, that I have seen today that the younger generation is taken over, and they're not wavering in what they want, in how they want to do it, and what they want to do. So I've been asked to highlight how they got to this point. And the first thing I want to tell you is that I want to take you to a bankers meeting I had in London, when a banker told me that, but your country does not even have a credit rating. So I paused and I said, I don't understand that. He said, you do understand English. You don't have a credit rating. I said, when I have world-class oil in world-class quantities, I have a AAA credit rating. Very simple. So the whole thing is that when I had a meeting with these youngsters who came, and they said that, look, you know, nobody is telling us how do we get financing, how do we go about putting these projects together. Then I gave them a task. I told them, I want you to study what big companies like Exxon do, that the gold mining companies are doing. I said, what they do is take your collateral, your gold, your oil, and they go to something called the stock market, which they are noted, and tell people, look, there's money to be made. And when they can convince that stock market there's money to be made, they started a total different thing. If you want to borrow $1,000 and you go to a guy with money, he wants collateral. He wants your house, he wants your car, if possible your wife, everything. So the guys who invented the stock exchange found out one very basic thing. They said, if we come collectively together and we say we need $1,000 and we put it out there, and all of us say, you know what, I'll buy for $1, I buy a share. So if it goes wrong, you understand, you only lose $1. And suddenly financing becomes a different ballgame. Unfortunately, in 2007 and 2008, the reputation of the stock market was tarnished, but I hope that the big guys over there are building it back. So here is it what we have. I told them that, first of all, you have to be a credible country. It means that you must show the world that you are a democracy and that you're willing to fight for that democracy. So I bow to these youngsters for having seen, just like my dear friend Mr. Christopher Ram, who more than any one of us fought and highlighted things and assured the world that we will make sure that our country stays a democracy, so we can attract proper funding, reputable funding, and not guys who come here with all kind of funds which you cannot trace and so forth. Because in the process we made sure that this country signed the anti-money laundering and Anti-Terrorism Act. So, with these youngsters having understood that, and they saw that they have to do things in a different way, you understand? They have to be reputable, they have to be honest, and they cannot be like how most of the old generation was. If you want to work internationally and you want respect that people invest in your country, you have to show them that a contract is a contract. And let me explain it very properly. Many people going to tell you that, okay, a lopsided contract signed when we had a dictatorship, you know, in the past. You understand that it's a contract, so you have to adhere to it. Let me tell you something. There's something called in the world called dialogue. We're happy that Exxon came, but if they have a lopsided contract, we don't want to fight with them. We want to sit with them, negotiate with them, and tell them that, look, you know, can you give us a better deal? And we work it from there. We don't need to fight. We don't need to do anything, because you as youngsters have to understand one thing. There's nothing in life called a free lunch. When people come and invest in your country and they work with you, they want to make sure that those people who put in the money get a fair share. It's called return on investment. They're not interested, at least the reputable people you are now dealing with, they're not interested in coming to fleece your country or to rip you off. No, they come here, they're reputable people, they want to do a good job, they recognize what your culture is, and they will work with you. But you have to be honest with them. You understand? You have to understand that they have to have a fair cut in what you're going to do, because they have the knowledge which they're bringing, they have the expertise that they're bringing, and they bring in the money. What do you have? You have the product, you have the manpower, and you have not the educated level of people as yet. They can help with that too. So as Mr. Christopher Ram said, that you can fix that. You can tell them that, look, you know, help us out here. Come with your people, train our people. And what do I see in good countries where you have this system? They don't want you to leave anymore. They want you to be part of their society. And that is what you have to achieve. So your major achievement was that you have shown the world that you're willing to keep your country democratic, because it's the first thing foreign investors want to know. They're looking at what happened in Venezuela, and we're not going to go into politics because the Venezuelans have to solve their political problem themselves. We don't want to interfere in it. So here, you have started to comply with those axiomas, those necessary pillars to make this country a great country. And when you have done that, you achieve what you have achieved today. There are foreign companies who have put their reputation on the line for you. As you know, the LNG plant which you have proposed to the government is being the company which is joining forces with you and say that, look, if you do it in this proper way, I will build it for you. And you see their list of projects they have done. It can be Googled. You're fortunate that today you don't have to pay somebody to go and find out. You Google it, you can find them, you can do in-depth research, you can visit the dark web or whatever you guys call it and told me what it is. You understand? And you found out indeed these guys are reputable people and they can do job. Let me tell you what impressed me most of all of you guys. That when you have achieved this, because you said you joining in the beginning to help preserve this democracy was not what you wanted and why you did it. You wanted to create jobs because you saw that what was happening is that only a small group was harnessing all these jobs and only promising the population all kind of good things where the population was languishing. So when I saw that you guys said that, look, you respect the big party who won the election and you will work in an honest way with them. And when I saw that big party embraced you guys and said that, look, we want to work with you guys. we understand, and I saw that how they have brought in also young people. I said that now I'm convinced that you guys will be very, very successful. I'm also happy that you guys, and I was impressed that you guys know the 16 norms of United Nations which you have to comply with to have a sustainable economy, that you guys know it by heart. So, and when I saw that the PPP system, public-private partnerships, that you understand how that works, there's where I said that, you know, we're up to a good thing. You guys are on the right path. I will support where I can. Mr. Christopher Ramharack has an impeccable reputation of standing up for the truth and what is right for this country. I see that you guys are very much engaged with him. You know, that's what you need. You need good people to support you. And if you do that, you will be successful. So your next steps, which you have told me, you don't want the government to say that, look, I like you guys' faces, and I like you guys, and we're going to do this, we do that. I'm proud that you stand up for what you have said you would do. You want transparency. You want to have an open tender. And I'm impressed with the way you guys are convinced that you have lined yourself up with companies which are reputable in the United States of America and doing an excellent job which can be verified. So if there's an open tender to build our LNG plant, to build our pipeline, our modular refinery, and most of all, our deep sea port, because you cannot develop the country without the deep sea port. So I like your guys' priorities where you said that, look, let's simultaneously tackle the deep sea port. Let us put the refinery secondary, and let's put the LNG plant and the pipeline first. I was impressed with you guys because when I spoke with the experts overseas, they were of the same opinion. So having said that, I am sure that if you continue on this path of honesty, transparency, and with your heart in the right place for your country, you will be successful. And I can already start to believe that you will make Guyana the Dubai of the Caribbean. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Dorgo. As you can all see, I'll stress again, the election has finished, and right now it's about building Guyana into the best Guyana it can be, and we, the young people, are taking that initiative. Through GuyEnergy, we're going to make this a reality. For our closing remarks, I'm going to invite our other board member and the chief behind our projects, Josh Kanai. Please give the closing remarks, and that's it.
Yeah. I heard they saved the best for last, so thank you. Well, as Asha said, I'm Dr. Josh Kanai, and these group of youths, I'm behind them as they push towards getting their projects on board for this country, for development. We have basically come out of a situation which put us to think, and which put us in a place whereby we have to raise our mentality, and that's what I see with the bunch of youths that are working here today. They are now moving towards building, or moving towards the area whereby they want to create jobs. Not just any regular job, but jobs which are going to be having substantial payments or substantial payments to their employees, and even allow them to form a career whereby they can foster families and enjoy their life and live as comfortable as possible in Guyana. Dr. Durga has said it, this is going to be the Dubai of the Caribbean, one day, every day, one step at a time. So I urge you guys to keep looking out for the team of GuyEnergy, and please encourage you to stay focused on what we're about to do. And at the end of the day, it's not about us, it's not about politics, it's just about the country and developing this country and giving the youths a chance to survive, and not only survive, but to live comfortably. From GuyEnergy and the rest of the board, we thank you guys for coming today, and we thank you guys for having the time out to give some sort of input into this. We will be entertaining a few questions as well, even via live. And now we hand over back to Dr. Soon, which will be taking those questions and sharing them out to the group.
Does anyone have questions? Probably, let's start with our members of the media.
Gary,
Good afternoon.
tell me, you mentioned that you guys have $4 billion US dollars in funding. Can you tell me where you guys got the funding from?
There are various companies. For privacy's sake, we will not make it public, but I can assure you all the documentation with proof of the funding was handed to the President and Vice President of Guyana. So it's a reality. I know one may hear $4 billion, but yes, it's there, and we're ready to embark on these projects with our people. Any other questions? That's it? Well, thank you very much, everyone. I'd like to tell you our signboard is outside, so some of you would like to take pictures will be able to go ahead and get it. And let's keep looking out for GuyEnergy. More is coming soon. This is just the beginning. This is just the tip of the iceberg of everything that will be let out soon. Okay, so thank you very much to the viewers that are live with us. And everyone, enjoy the rest of your day.
Could we just move these things up from here so I can get it?